All right, you Aggies, we're coming for you. Thanks for joining us nonetheless. I'm Donovan Long.
It is game day in Tennessee. We're talking about the game. We've got the coverage on that. Mark Packer and gang down there covering everything from Texas, and also us and CBS News following very closely what's happening in the Carolinas. I know we've got a lot of people that are in town from South Carolina, from Florida, Georgia. We'll update you on that, as well as we were talking. A lot of us have family and friends there, so we're curious about what's going to be happening. Storm very close to the Carolinas. Right now in our neighborhood, just a few sprinkles and temperatures from 69 in Knoxville, Follett 64. There's the powerful storm. A lot of rainfall in interior South Carolina and southeastern North Carolina. That storm still churning off the coast of Charleston. We're looking to see if the eye wall ever does make its way in. The storm is weakening somewhat, but still 105 mile-per-hour winds this morning, and those winds are approaching hurricane force right along the coast. We do expect some coastal flooding, up to a foot of rain in portions of South Carolina. That is not good news. I talked to Mom. She lives near Myrtle Beach. She said, we're wet. We don't need any more rain. So this is definitely going to be a problem for them for days and weeks to come. So we'll be talking about this for quite a while.
Of course,
the latest on the official track in just a minute.
For sure. Of course, our thoughts and prayers are with families, of course, that are affected.
And those in town, hopefully you get to go home and not have too much damage.
Absolutely. Kyle, thanks for the updates, man. Hey, it might not feel like winter just yet, but snow is starting to fall at Ober-Gatlinburg.
Talk about a difference of storms. The company hopes new investments will bring even more snow to the park this year. Also, the people, they call it snow magic. They have used this process before in the tubing park. Now they're going to try it somewhere else, the ski slopes and some of those areas that get a lot of sunshine.
Yeah, they hope this allows them to keep more slopes open longer. So yesterday they started getting ready for it all. Take a listen.
What you see now is basically 5 hours of snowmaking. So we just recently purchased a Snow Magic system that actually will produce 150 tons overnight.
That's a lot. It's a lot of snow. Ober hopes to open tubing the weekend before Thanksgiving.
Actually, 11 dump truck loads full. And speaking of snow, pumpkins and Christmas decorations don't normally go hand in hand. Well, maybe they don't, but at least the mixing of the seasons is happening right now in the Smokies.
It's all about the seasons, baby. Installation of 4 million holiday lights has started in the cities of Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, and Sevierville. They say Winterfest has grown so much that it takes this long to get it all completed.
The building maintenance department started pulling out the fixtures, all the lighting displays, in mid-August just to check for sockets and wiring and to replace any of the LED bulbs that might need to be replaced.
Of course, those kickoff celebrations always a hit for locals. Those start on November the 7th with Sevierville, followed by Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg each evening thereafter.
Good stuff. Hey, some special guests are in Knoxville for a few days. They're from our sister city in Japan, and Knoxville has been a sister city with Muraran for 25 years. Some of the people in the delegation have made this trip multiple times. That's a lot of flying.
One of the items on the agenda is a tour of Neyland Stadium. Mayor Rogero says that they've been practicing something for today's big game.
Of course we're going to win tomorrow, so yes, we had to practice saying go Vols.
Go Vols and welcome to town. The delegation will also be checking out the farmers market in Market Square today. Wonder if they got some new orange to go with that.
Or some new food to go with that. It's good food down there. They're also here, Bill Snyder and the mighty Ruralizer organ at the Tennessee Theater. Good stuff.
Well, the principal of Farragut Intermediate School took one for the team yesterday.
Yeah, he did. He told us he told his students if their school sold over 5,500 coupon books, he would bring a dunk tank to school.
Those are some excited kids. They raised almost 5,700. Reggie Mosley said the top earner from each class got 3 chances to dunk him. That school has over 45 classrooms.
I wish we did stuff like that in school. Mosley said he was dunked almost 20 times, and the money raised from the coupons goes to technology for the school.
I was always wanting my principal to volunteer to like sleep on the roof or something like that.
Something crazy. Like I feel like as a kid, you love for your principal to do just wild stuff. You know?
And you got a little jealous when you saw the other schools doing that.
You really did. You really did. Well, some UT faithful, including some UT fans who are faithful, including us and Ted Hall, lost their voices last week after screaming a lot during the Georgia game. Well, we have some information that might keep that from happening again.
I was worried my neighbors would think I was crazy because they knew I was home alone. The Mayo Clinic has a few tips to avoid what we've been calling Hail Mary-itis. And if you're going to be screaming during today's game, we did a little bit of research to see what you should be doing to prepare for this. This is quite interesting. First and foremost, don't shout, sing, or even speak much beforehand. Easier said than done, right? Because we've been doing it all day long. You should also avoid eating spicy food and drinking caffeine. So go ahead and cut out the morning coffee right now as you wake up.
Yeah, for real. And pretty much your best bet, tread out the alcohol for water and drink a lot of it if you can. I know, of course, beer and alcohol is a big thing for football.
And I've said this before, lemon water to wake up. You will feel rejuvenated.
Oh, nice.
We want to remind you again, if you weren't lucky enough to make it to College Station, we've got the team there. They're going to let you know everything that's happening right here on WVLT. It starts at 3:30 and goes all evening long.
Best news in town, baby. It's a CBS Game of the Week for the third straight week. As Kyle just mentioned, kickoff is at 3:30, just like the last 2 weeks, and for the game next week.
And Mark Packer is there, and the team starts at 7 with that post-game coverage.
You got it. You got it.
Everyone has their own way of showing support for the Vols. With a 5-0 start, it's easy to cheer them on this year. But in years past, maybe some fair weather fans.
Yeah, there have been, but not this guy, though. Dylan Gibbs takes his love for the Vols everywhere he goes. Brittany Tarwater shows us why you could say he's inked as the ultimate Vol fan for life.
From Rocky Top to checkered overalls.
It's been a love of my life.
Vol fans sure don't disappoint when it comes to showing their support for the Big Orange.
I've been going to Tennessee games since before I can remember. My family's had season tickets for 50 years now.
Dylan Gibbs runs the table when it comes to the most permanent fan. His love doesn't fade, and it can't be wiped off.
You have the stadium that comes up with the Vol lettering as you come down the river that comes up into the Sun Sphere.
He started getting inked in 2013 when Team 117 was on the field. Tennessee was 5-7 that year, but the pain on the field was worth the pain in his side that is literally skin deep.
Up there in that armpit area, that's the worst, and it just progressively kind of got worse. But
It's not just the Vols painted on this mural, man. It's the Sun Sphere, the Henley Street Bridge, all of the iconic symbols of this beautiful city we call home.
I just really love everything that has to do with Knoxville. I think it's a really deceptively beautiful city if you don't see it, if you just pass through it.
He's made quite the investment.
About 17 hours of work in it.
To Rocky Top and the team that turns the town that particular shade of orange.
And just love everything about Knoxville.
And just like the ink, his love for Tennessee is with him forever. A true Vol for life. In Knoxville, Brittany Tarwater, Local 8 News.
That's pretty interesting stuff right there, Kyle. You know, in addition to the big talk about the game and the Vols and what they're doing and how they're performing, I think the big talk is about the weather and also just what's going on right here in East Tennessee.
And I actually got to talk about Matthew earlier this week to a class of kids over at Sevierville Intermediate School, the 5th grade class studying natural disasters. And so I had a chance to talk with them about Matthew and other natural disasters. Here they are. So a shout out to all of you folks this morning. We thank you for inviting us over and enjoyed my time out there. One of the kids even gave me a pencil to thank me for coming by. Hope you all learned a lot and watching the storm and taking precautions on the things you need to do that we discussed when you have nasty weather on the outside in those natural disasters. We're starting out at 69. Pretty calm, pretty comfortable this morning for the Knoxville area, but a few stray showers have managed to work their way over the mountains, but these are light in nature, won't be causing any problems. A few gusty breezes will be by for the afternoon hours. So here's your forecast for this day where you live. How about 71 in London, 73 Middlesboro. We're talking about 70s along the plateau as well. 71 Crossville, 75 for Knoxville and Dandridge, and also in the Smokies, 71 for Gatlinburg, 75 over in Sevierville. We'll have the clouds this morning, sunshine by the afternoon. A pretty nice day for your Sunday as well. Overnight lows into the 40s. Next week, back into the 80s for the kickoff. Right now, does look to be on the dry side. Here is Matthew. We've been talking about this all morning, starting to clear for the coast of Georgia, but under the gun right now is South Carolina between Hilton Head and Charleston. The eye wall getting very close, has not grazed land yet, but heavy rainfall extends all the way up into southeastern North Carolina. There's my mom and dad right there under these heavy rain bands right now. They're expecting up to a foot of rain. Hopefully everyone in this area is safe, and of course we're watching for the flooding conditions. Storm surge also an issue. Let's take a live look in Myrtle Beach right now, where we're talking about those waves that are crashing on the shore. That hurricane is pushing water up many inlets and streams. This will be something to talk about over the coming hours. Donovan.
All right, Kyle, thanks. We really appreciate the continuous updates. Hey, from Ponce de Leon's Fountain of Youth to Hot Springs, North Carolina, there are so many legends that say there's healing in water, and it's been talked about for centuries. Now, there's one place in East Tennessee that people swear by, and our very own Alan Williams explains why even today people travel for miles to see this. And you know what they say, there's healing in the water in this week's Tennessee Traveler.
Could it be that inside this small, unassuming building in Newmarket, Tennessee, there is healing water that cures all kinds of ailments? For decades, folks have been filling up whatever kind of container they can find at an oasis called Houston's Mineral Water. Gay Ann Raskin comes from Knoxville at least once a week.
This makes the best coffee.
My grandfather, who was William Avery Houston, was a very interesting guy and ran a store that was here.
Bill says in the late 1920s, his grandfather started having severe kidney stones.
He had a dream one night, and in the dream, there's various accounts that he either heard a voice or he had a vision within the dream.
In the dream, he was to drill down 252 feet. Sure enough, he hit water.
He started drinking it, and within about 6 weeks, there was no sign of any of these kidney ailments.
The story went far and wide, and since 1931, folks have been filling any container they can find.
The taste of it, to me, it just tastes better than any other water I've ever had.
The Rexall Drug Company even tried to buy it from Houston and build a spa, but Granddad had his own idea and bought old Coke bottles, filled them up, and sold the water by mail order at 20 cents a gallon. It's now 50 cents a gallon, all on the honor system. So why is this spring supposedly different than any other?
First, it's not a spring. It's a well, and a spring, the water comes to the surface under hydrostatic pressure, whereas this, we have a pump that actually has to pull the water up. We don't know. We've never known.
Analysis indicates nothing strange or spectacular.
Have you ever drank it? Just get you a gallon and take it home.
Driving in your neighborhood, I'm the Tennessee Traveler.
Pretty interesting. The water does have a taste, at least to me. Well, we've been talking a lot about tiny homes. It's a huge craze that's trending all over the nation. In less than 3 minutes, Kyle Granger takes us to the Tiny House Road, the road show, and tells us how you can tour some of the smallest homes this weekend.